I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious. I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad.
What up, everyone? This is your man, Mr. 35. I'm back at it again. Today, I am talking about just a brief subject. If you want to chime in, you know how to reach me. The number is 567-343-0502. If you like the stream, hit that notification bell, hit the like, subscribe, whatever it may be. But this is something that's been on my mind. It is loyalty, committed, dedication. And I'm not just referring to players. I prefer to coaches and players, both at the same time. You get what I'm saying? But my thing is this: when do you want to make a legacy for yourself? When do you want to be great at your sport, at your craft, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, whether it's something like that? In a minute, I'm gonna name off. I'm gonna go down a list of a couple coaches that I truly admired. Who, one of them, my God, I'm gonna get it at work because I really don't want to mention this person's name, but he was a great coach, and she was one of the great ones. So it's about loyalty. Is loyalty and commitment to the game is over? Is it? Is loyalty a thing of the past, or is everybody just want now time? Is anyone loyal to the game anymore? I see players enter the transfer portal, and I talked to a couple of players, and they really want. Hey, back in the day, you couldn't enter the transfer portal. There was no such thing as transfer. You have to wait, and sometimes you could lose a season behind that. It's a very, very frustrating thing for college sport, and to be honest, it's killing a lot of the college game. All of the old heads, Saban, Bowden, Woody Hayes, I will talk about him. They're a thing of the past. I mean, there's no more loyalty to the program. Everybody want to win now, but they're not wanting to put in the work to get to win now. You get what I'm saying? One of my heroes, and I am a Southeastern Conference guy, so you know who I'm about to quote, and she's a legend. The great Pat Summitt. She said this. Let's see, what did I write for Pat? Pat said this. It's harder to stay on top than it is to make the climb. Continue to seek new goals. That's Pat. Pat stayed with Tennessee from the beginning to the end, till she retired. It took her 3 to 4 years to build her program. And you know what? She started in 1974. And when she hit the 1980s, from 1982 until her retirement, she made every NCAA tournament. Every one. But she said it was off the sweat of her own back. She didn't see herself jumping and going to different programs. She saw herself building something, just like someone building a garden, like my garden. I'm building a garden this year. And you know what's going to happen? People going to talk. People going to see my garden and they're going to like, I want something out of that garden. You know what I have to do? I have to defend my garden. I have to make it look good. I have to make it good for my children. She made Tennessee good for her player. She made it home. Yeah, she was one of the toughest ladies I ever seen. On camera, because I never seen it in person. And she has this stare, and they call it the Summit Stare. Icy stare, and you know, the players know. I bet Candace Parker could tell you this. She know when Coach Pat looked at her, gave her that stare. I saw it on a picture, and it scared me. I was like, man, this woman crazy, you know? And she wasn't the only one. I mean, look at Coach K. He's retiring. And Coach K, it took him 5 years to build his program. Yes, he started out at Army, and then he got hired on to somewhere else. Whoop-de-doo. But he stayed. He had every opportunity to go to the NBA. He had an opportunity to go to, and I would respect that. If you go from college to the NBA, that's fine. Me, I'm talking about the college game. I'm talking about the high school game. Winning is not good enough. When you think these schools who are high-power programs in Texas, Mississippi, like South Panova or Hoover, Alabama, or DeSoto, Permian, the Carters back in the 80s, you think those teams that was built because some guy decided he just come in? No, it was off the sweat of his back. It was all their endurance. Look at the great UCLA team there was. You know, that coach stood there and he coached them. He coached them. And when you think of UCLA, you think of this man. I can't say his name right now because it's coming off my head pretty fast. But the thing is this for me. I don't mind someone going to get their money. I don't mind it. People think like, Reggie, you hating because people. But no, I'm talking about what happened to the love of the game. What happened to, as Malik Short used to say, told me on this show, his coaches always told him, remember your why. Remember why you stay up late and look at film. Remember why you want this young man or young woman to succeed. Remember why you love the game. Is it because of money? Then you ain't gonna ever be successful, according to Woody Hayes. If you love money, you ain't gonna never be a great coach. If that's your goal. Because eventually you're gonna what? They can pay you millions and millions of dollars. They can pay you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. You ain't gonna be satisfied, you a loser. It's just something about the mentality of the game of college that is ruining it for me personally. Think about, let's see. Think about Eddie Robinson. Eddie probably could have coached anywhere. He was going through Jim Crow laws. He was born in that era, but he still had his players out there. HBCU was the thing. That's what black men had to go to. That's all they could play, HBCU, until that man, Barry Bryant, played USC. Yes. Barry Bryant, that's when it really broke open. Barry Bryant played USC, and he made it his personal business for USC to come to Alabama, Birmingham at that point. Birmingham, Alabama, to play the Crimson Tide. And you know what happened? USC walked them over because he wanted to change. But the only way that he saw that could make that change is for them to come over there and play. He was committed to his program. And he knows the only way he can win, I need some of those guys. It wasn't nothing wrong with his guy, but I needed some of those guys. I needed that speed. I needed that. I needed it. And look what he one of the greatest coaches in Alabama history. Now Nick Saban said the statue's all mine. Saban is another one. Woody Hayes. Woody hated Michigan. But when Woody started, Ohio State wasn't that great. No, it wasn't. It was not. I looked at the records on Google. It was not. Took him a couple years. He built the program like he wanted. He got the player he wanted. And you know what? They were murking people left and right. Michigan didn't have a chance. Sorry to say, but y'all didn't have a chance. Woody Hayes was putting that money, putting that work in on you boys. He was one, as Coach Pat was one of many. You know? There's Bobby Bowden. Not only that these guys, these great coaches, they was committed and loyal to the game, but they didn't care, you know? They didn't care about, they got paid because they earned. But they were more dedicated to the school and to the young people that they recruit. Now, this is my thing here. You recruit these 5, 4-star, 3-star guys, and they come to your university, they come to your basketball program. You start winning the first 3 years, 4 years. And then the next thing you know, someone else called. You know who's calling? Someone who ain't satisfied with their program. They want to win now. And they figure that if they can get you in there, they can win now. You get what I'm saying? So when they get you in there, you don't win now. They give you this contract. They're like, man, this dude ain't winning nothing. Why? Because at the school you was at, they appreciated you. And you built something there. When they thought of that school, they thought, oh, that's Coach Reese. Yeah, Coach Reese. Or that's Coach Sanders. Or that's Coach Reed. Yeah, when I think of Jackson State women basketball, I think of Coach Reed. When I think of football, the great football coaches, when I think of New York Giants, I always think of Bill Parcells. When I think of New England Patriots, I think of Bill Belichick. You know, when I think of Florida State, I think of Bobby Bowden. Yes, he finished it at Virginia Tech, but my gosh, Florida State, Bobby Bowden. You know, he wanted people who wanted to play. Ask Prime, Coach Prime. Coach Prime said no one wanted him. Florida State did. And you know what? He played his tail out for a man who wanted him, who saw something in him. It's public information. You can go look at his document. I'm going to tell you himself. My thing is this. When is loyal, coach, when are you loyal to your program? Now, if you're sorry, don't get me wrong, if you're a sorry coach, if you suck, and they give you, they're like, all right, coach, I'm going to give you 6 years. You got to see some progress. Coach K, he went from, let's see. Coach K went from 17-13, 10-17, 11-17, then 24-10, then 23-8. You know what? He didn't really have no more double-digit losses, really, in his career. Pat Summitt. Pat, she went on a spree. You know what? Because she built her player the way she wanted. She saw someone who has some grit, and it's in some of her documents. She said, I saw a good player one time. But you know the player I want? It wasn't a star player. It was that player that no one was looking at. The one I saw hustling. The one I saw diving for the ball. The one I saw churning. And you know what? She got that player. WNBA. Because she saw hard work. While everyone else just saw stars, she saw hard work. That's why I admire Dion when he said, I'm not just looking for no star. I can put a star by anybody's name. Put a star by my name. Reggie 5-star. You know what? I get a letter in 10. They ain't never seen me play. He want players who wants to be great. He want players who want to build his program. Again, this is Mr. 35 on 35 Sports Show. If you want to chime in, go to YouTube, leave a comment, or text me 567-343-0502, or call into the show. I'll put you on speaker and let me hear what you think happened to the game. Is loyalty still in the game? I think it's not. I think people want money. There's nothing wrong with money. I tell you what, my dad, he worked 30-something years at Georgia Pacific. 30-something years. Never missed home. He was always home at the table. He was always there for us. Because he always said, I could have got a better job, son. I could have made. He got raises. He made more money, yeah, at his job. What he was dedicated to 30-something years. And they appreciate it. They bought him cars. They gave him Rolexes. They gave him plaques. They gave him bonuses. He went so many years without missing work. And they acknowledged that. They appreciate it. Young guys still to this day talk about my dad because he was dedicated to his job. They're like, man, your dad is the reason why I'm working. Because I think Georgia Pacific could take care of it. And that's what they saw. They saw Georgia Pacific take care of it. College, do you take care of your coaches? Coaches that are winning. Are you loyal to your coach? That goes to the AD, the president. Are you loyal to this coach who's winning? A good point. My favorite coach in Mississippi, I cover the HBCUs in Mississippi. At Jackson State, Alcorn, Millsap, Mississippi Valley, Delta, all of them. You know what? One of my coaches I like, Coach Dan, he's building something, Mississippi Valley. You cannot go to Mississippi Valley and just think, oh, I'm going to steamroll him. No, you know, he's building his guys. He gets some, darn it, no one's talking about it, but Coach Dan in Mississippi Valley have got some studs coming out. You know what? He's going to break them down, and he's going to build them up in his image. He's going to want them to play the way he wants. Tough. Deion. Tough, smart, tough, fast, and disciplined with character. He don't want no chump. He wants somebody who wants to win. That's why he keep bringing better players in there. Because, you know, he got players that need to be pushed. He's like, oh, he brought that guy now. A guy, and Deion know this, if a guy is not willing to fight for his job, he'll quit. He'll end the transfer portal. Quick, fast, in a hurry. But a guy like, no, he ain't beat me. That's that dog. That dog can be like, no, it's my turn. Rookie, freshman, sit behind me. And that freshman, he made Travis Hunter. I'm not just saying this in general. Travis Hunter, 5-star player. He worked his butt off to be the best defensive back. Worked his butt off to be the best wide receiver. If he was a wide receiver, he probably a 4-star wide receiver. All around, he's 5-star because he worked his tail off. And you know what? He's worked his tail off at Jackson State. But he's running behind Nugget, Huggins, Shiloh, many other cornerbacks. They looking like, yeah, you think you come here and take my job? You got another thing coming. So what Deion did, he brought this talent up in Jackson State because he know this talent is going to push because they used to starting. And they got a reputation to uphold. He can't go to Jackson State and start. That's in his mind. I'm going to start. But this other guy, who's that dog, said, no, you ain't going to start over me. Friendly competition, but Deion know the book is open. That dog going to read that book and see his mistake, and he's like, no. He may got me this time, I'm going to get him now. And that's the competition. And that's going to make his team better. And by making his team better, he's going to be more dominant. That's why I always heard domination. Dominant. That's what Deion preaching. I want a dominant team. In order to be dominant, you got to get some dogs who are going to fight for every inch. Because that's what Nick Saban does. That's what the Ohio State guy, that's what Urban Meyer did in Florida. He did it at Ohio State before he ain't getting into that. Coach Don at South Carolina. You know, look at the, Pat Summitt. Pat, if you, man, That's why I'm looking at her documentary. That's what I'm talking about. Gino, he's the same way. I mean, you ain't gonna just come in UConn and think you're gonna. Every girl there know that they were the best player on their team. So they come into New UConn with a bunch of other dogs, if I can say it like that. I ain't calling y'all no out your name. I'm calling y'all players, dogs. Nah, still don't sound right. But anyway, they got a bunch of girls who are number one. And you know what's happening? They're pushing each other, making them better because they want to play. You don't wear UConn and don't want to play. No, you want to play. Because you're going to be on national TV. The WNBA is going to be looking at you. Endorsements going to be looking at you. Now you get NIL deals. If you ain't playing, you ain't getting none. Look at Malachi Wyman, FUBU. Look at Paige, Gatorade. Look at Shedeur Sanders, Brady, Gatorade, Under Armour. I mean, look at Dion winning this. I mean, Jackson State was supported by Under Armour, Pepsi. You get look what all endorsement he get because he's winning. You know what? I think if Dion stayed at Jackson State, this is just a theory. I don't know. Y'all already thought about leaving, so I ain't. Whatever. But that's what I'm saying. He got money. But anyway, if he stayed at Jackson State and he built that program to a FBS school, mid-Power 5 school, and he started knocking out so many big-name schools, no one will be able to touch him ever. I mean, he'll jump to the top echelon of coaches quick. Don't let him get in the college football playoff. Don't let him get in the top 10 ranking if he get Jackson State to an FBS school. Don't let him do that. My gosh, his legacy will be bigger as a coach than he was a player. And that's the truth. I believe. That's the God honest truth, Again, if you want to chime in on this conversation, the telephone number is 567-343-0502. That's 567-343-0502. Text me, go to YouTube, leave a comment on Facebook. I'm watching all of it. Again, loyalty, commit, and then with the players, you can have a good coach, but if you have how do you get a player to play for you? You have to be dedicated. Again, and go back to these coaches. Just say the coach for Buffalo. She was a good coach. She's at Syracuse now. She won the MAC championship. She made it to the NCAA tournament. She been building Buffalo for years, and they've been pushing, getting in that NCAA tournament. Now she's gone. Now the players, they got a new coach from Louisville. Well, she played at Louisville, made it to a Final Four, one heck of a guard. Now she's coaching at Buffalo. Now what if she start winning? What if she don't want those players? What if the players don't want to play for her because they're not their coach? Because the coach who went to Syracuse sold them all this stuff about coming play for her and how she's going to teach them. But now, are you the player? Are you dedicated to the school? Are you dedicated to your teammates to stay there? Are you dedicated and going to work hard for this new coach? Buy into what she's saying. Because to me, that's lying. I ain't going to even lie to you. To me, that sounds like you lying to me. You got my son to come to your school, and then just say he QB in the first 2 years, he get you to the FBS, the college football playoff. The second year, y'all win. Then you get this job, go to the NFL. My son came there to learn and coach from you, to be coached from you, and then you leave. You just lied to him. You're like, I'm going to be here all 4 years. You salesman, man. So where is the loyalty? Where is the commitment? Get what I'm saying? And then coaches, these are teenage kids. They're very gullible. They believe in what you're saying. They already want to come to your school. If you're in a player top 5 school, he wants to come to your school. The thing is, the person who can tell him he feel like it's telling him and his parents, I'm pretty sure parents ever say so, that this man ain't lying to me. That my son go there, and the next thing you know, he's still gonna be there when my son either go to the NFL or NBA or graduate. You know why Deion love Bobby Bowden? You know why all these cats love their coach? Candace Parker love some because she was there. All the years she was there, Candace played at Tennessee. And when Candace was going through her low, you know who she went to? When she went around her mama, she went to Pat. Off the court, Pat was a loving woman. It's in her document. The players love her. I'm just saying, don't you believe that? Don't you believe that loyalty is something that is encouraged? That AD's jobs on the line. They hired this dude. They were like, man, they got this guy. He's gonna be committed. Mo Williams. Is he committed to Jackson State? He's from Jackson. NBA champion. Could not win at Alabama State. Bad record. Look, ask my boy Osprey. He'll tell you to your face. Scott speak the truth. He keep receipts. Tell him, Scott. You keep receipts. So is Mo gonna be dedicated? Is he gonna? What if Jackson State start winning? What if they make the NCAA tournament first year? Or make it? Just make it. Make it to the second round of NCAA. Make it to the quarterfinals of NIT 2-3 years in a row. They win a SWAC championship 3 years in a row or 4 years, just however long he's there. Then the NBA like, oh Mo, we want you to come. What you gonna tell those kids who have committed to your school? What are you gonna tell them? Huh? I have goals too. I always want to be a coach. You're coaching now. You're gonna try to go to the NBA and tell a bunch of millionaires what to do? Please, Deion, right, man. You cannot coach millionaires. You cannot tell grown men. You are teaching young men, young boys to be young men, and young men become great fathers. You can't go to, it's a rare thing, you go to NBA and you make this bigger impact on this guy. Sometimes it happens. It can happen. I ain't gonna say that. That's my opinion. Don't go quote me. Go say that somebody else. That's my opinion. My thing is this. When is it good enough? When your word, that's what I mean. Your word is good enough for these young people. Again, this is Mr. 35 on 3 Spot Sports. Call, let me see if I got anybody. Let's see. Yeah. So again, people, someone text me. So how important is loyalty? I think it's very important. I think being committed to a university or school or a team is very important. As some people say, money ain't everything. Money can make you happy for so much. Yes, it can get you places. Yes, I mean, you can't live without it. So it's important. But when is it enough? Look, there are some people who work all their life and don't make $1 million. My dad was one of them. I don't think he made $1 million. I know some coaches never made $1 million. When they enjoy coaching, they love it. I mean, look at some of the high school coaches who've been there 20 years building this great program. They may make 80, 90,000 a year. Content. That's what I'm saying. They're not content to they content to their pay, but they're not content to lose their program. As Pat Summers said, it's harder to stay on top. So therefore, you have to look for more goals. So I'm asking you, coaches, when is commitment enough? I'm asking players, when are you committed to the craft you love? And just not on the coaches. I mean, he wants you to come there. She wants you to come there, but are you dedicated to what made you great in high school? This little kid been watching this game all these years, and now you finally got a chance to play. Will you step up to the plate? Think about all the 5-star players and 4-star players and 3-star players that's in the transfer portal right now. There are thousands of kids in the transfer portal because they went to school that they thought they were going to appreciate them. If they went to school, they thought coaches is still going to be there. Coaches are not there. Why don't you go to a school that's going to appreciate you? If you can ball, as Deion Sanders would say, they will find you. They will find you. Saban to say he will find you. So, if you can play, the NBA will find you. My God, no one knew about Steph Curry at Davidson because he can ball. No one knew about Leonard, the linebacker for Indianapolis Colts. He can ball. He can play. Look at most of these. Antonio Brown, Central Michigan. I'm like, if you can play, they will find you. Look at James Houston. Look at Keontae Hampton. Look at Felix. Felix Harper. All his life, he was too small. You can't. No, he didn't let that. He was committed to his game. He was committed to his school. He was committed to what he was learning. Committed to keep on learning. And now look at him. Got a chance to be drafted. Got a chance to play in the NFL, CFL, whatever leagues they got out there now. See, you gotta want these kids to feel welcome, feel home. Their parents trust you. If I had my son wanted, it's your decision. I trust him to go to Bethel. I trust him to go to, pioneer school. I trust him. And I'm going to trust the people who teaching him to bring him up correctly. I'm at my wit's end about sending him to a school. I've been going around searching for school for my son. He gets to start kindergarten this year. I'm trying to find a school that's going to be committed to help him learn how to read, write, common sense. My gosh. And I got to leave that to somebody else, because I have to work, provide. So I'm dependent on someone else to teach my kid. Then my daughter, she's going up after him. Then my wife's pregnant now, so she's going to have. And so being a coach in these players like marriage, you were committed. Or no, like parents. Because eventually they got to go off and you're going to cry. I'm going to miss you, coach. I'm going to miss you. Well, think of the feeling you would have when you see that person graduate. When you go in the kids' house someone in their house that never graduated before. It's some players in college now, parents never been able to graduate. Sisters never been able to graduate. Came from difficult situation, but they trusted to come to you and play for you and you leave. You just broke that trust for society again. And someone else is going to have to mend that, you know? Same with the girl. Then you think they don't trust you. They ain't going to stay with you. They fool. If they do, sorry, you know, I have to stay there. Be a fool. You stay with a man you don't trust. A fool. You're a fool thinking that these schools that if I would put it this way, if a coach who have been there 10 years, I would say my son. Because I think he might be there 4 more years, 3 more years, 2 more years. Perfect example, Penny Hardaway. Memphis building that program. It made the second, third round, Sweet 16. No, they made the second round. I forget. For sure. But think what Penny have brought Memphis basketball to. They won the NIT championship last year. Every year his team is getting better. And he said, I would love a 5-star player, but you know what? I'm not building my program around one player who's just going to want it done. I don't want one and done. I want a player who wants to get better every year. So he know that player get better every year, his program will get better every year. Better men. Then when he leaves there, they're a better man. They got an education. No one can rip them off. At least I hope not. Go to college for all that. But again, this is Mr. 35. Call in to the conversation. It's loyalty. Is there still loyalty to the game? 567-343-0502. Call, text, leave a comment. I'll reply back. I always do. In the end of the end, you know? And it's tough. It is tough. So I see a couple people comment. How y'all doing? So to end this on a positive note, like I said, I like to leave with a quote. My children call me so something much about. Let's see. This is a quote from Nick Saban. He said, there is 2 pains in life. There is the pain of discipline and the pain of disappointment. If you can handle the pain of discipline, then you'll never have to deal with the pain of disappointment. What I've been saying all day. Commitment. Commitment to these things. You can't win together if you don't work together. You get what I'm saying? You can't. So that is the quote for the day. There are 2 pains in life. There is the pain of discipline and the pain of disappointment. If you can't handle the pain of discipline, then you'll never have to deal with the pain of disappointment. As I quoted from Pat, it's harder to stay on top than it is to make the climb. Continue to seek a new goal. Coaches, players, continue to seek loyalty. Continue to seek commitment. Make the game better. Stay. These are the best years of your life. NBA will always be there. NFL will always be there. College won't. as I always say, that is my little rant. You know, I just wanted to say that nobody didn't want to come on. I got a few texts that was, you know, I can deal with that. But this is Mr. 3-5, and I'm out. And I just want to say, cue my music.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Doing no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back, I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me, ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact, give me one shot and I'll